A major bank simply can't go broke. It would put the whole system at risk. That's why the state has poured almost 90 billion euros of tax money into Hypo-Real-Estate. But it doesn't end there. The state also wants to ensure the bank won't go broke, so it wants a say in how it's run.
Whenever public money is used, we have to make sure, in the interest of the taxpayer, that it's safe. And that means the government has to have a controlling majority.
The Grand Coalition is wrestling with the question of how to accomplish that. The government wants a majority share in Hypo-Real-Estate, even if principal American shareholder J.C. Flowers doesn't agree. For now, state control seems more important than keeping investors happy.
First, we're trying to achieve this majority by means of a capital reduction and subsequent increase. And there we have a chance. Only if that fails would we then have to go to our last resort, which would be expropriation.
Expropriation, nationalization. For Germans, a spectre from another era reminiscent of communist East Germany, where private property forcibly became state property. But constitutional lawyers doubt whether nationalization on any larger scale could happen with private banks today, even though the Constitution does allow expropriation.
Article 15 of the Constitution allows for the socialization of property. The question is whether it also allows for such a socialization, that is, a nationalization, in the sense of the conversion of an entire legal entity. We aren't sure about that. It's never been precisely stated in the Constitution. I assume we'll have to go to the Federal Constitutional Court to have that sorted.
Economists say that expropriating the shareholders is only a first step. To make sure that failing banks like Hypo-Real-Estate can't go under, they'd have to become completely state property.
All those banks that were demanding state help, like Hypo-Real-Estate now, would have had to accept as a consequence that they would have lost all their capital and the entire value of their stocks. A legal transformation would have occurred. That is, a state rescue company would have replaced the old HRE. I think the nationalization that is now being considered is the better regulatory way.
The opposition Left Party is taking advantage of the debate, accusing the economic conservatives of clinging to their ideals of a market economy during the crisis.
In the US, nationalization is already a done deal. In France, they certainly don't have any compunction about it, nor in Great Britain. But here, the very word makes our hair stand on end. We wrinkle our noses. Mrs. Merkel looks miserable every time the word passes her lips. We should just start with the economic and fiscal necessities and go from there.
Before the government jumps into the role of banker, it wants to exercise its other options. Threatening stockholders with legal expropriation does, after all, send a political signal.
The law, provided it goes through in its shape and is constitutionally sound, has exclusively a political effect, as I see it. And that is to send a message to other countries that even the Federal Republic of Germany has the guts to nationalize a company in time of crisis.
The Grand Coalition has to take on an unaccustomed role, to take on responsibility without surrendering market economic principles. Now it's up to the investors to do their bit to help rescue Hypo-Real-Estate, even if that means selling their stocks to the government at a huge loss.